You ever feel like you're just playing a part, even in your own life? Well, today we're going to tear up that script. We're on a quest to figure out who we really are when the curtain falls and everyone goes home. Let's dive in.
All right, let's just cut right to the chase. Who are you? Like, really? And I don't mean your job title, or who you're dating, or how many followers you have. I mean, if you stripped all of that stuff away, who's the person left standing? Let's start peeling back some of those layers, shall we?
You know, it's so easy to do this. We build our whole sense of self on these things. Our jobs, our wins, our relationships. And it can feel pretty solid, can it? But what happens when that ground starts to shake? What happens when you lose the job, or the relationship ends, or you just fail? Hard. Suddenly, it feels like your entire world is just collapsing.
Think of it this way. Your identity is like a house. And for a lot of us, we're building that house on some really shaky ground. You know, the shifting sands of other people's opinions or our latest success. And when you live in a house like that, every little storm feels like it could be the big one. It's exhausting. You're just constantly trying to patch things up, hoping the whole thing doesn't come tumbling down.
Okay, so this shaky foundation we've been talking about, it actually has a name in psychology. It's called the false self. And seriously, once you get your head around this concept, it can completely change how you see, well, pretty much everything.
So what is the false self? Honestly, you can think of it like your own personal PR manager, working around the clock to make sure you look good. It's that part of you that's just obsessed with the likes, the promotions, and what everyone else thinks. It's the mask that's always whispering in your ear, hey, you're only as good as your last win. And man, is that mask heavy.
Yeah, and trying to live this way, wearing this mask, it's like running on a treadmill that's stuck on high and you can't get off. You're just constantly sprinting, trying to stay ahead of the fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough. It's a one-way ticket to burnout, to anxiety, and to a life that just feels empty, no matter how hard you run.
Okay, take a look at this. It really breaks it down. On one side, you've got that fragile, anxious false self, always performing, always needing more. And on the other, the secure, peaceful, true self, the authentic you. So, the big question, the million-dollar question is, how do we get from one side to the other? How do we finally take off the mask?
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we build an identity on something that won't crack the second life gets tough? Well, the material we're digging into today points to a pretty radical idea. What if your worth has absolutely nothing to do with what you do?
This brings us to the idea of a non-contingent identity. I mean, just think about that for a second. An identity that isn't for sale. It's not up for negotiation. It doesn't go up or down based on your performance review or your relationship status. It's already been decided. It's a done deal. And this is the first pillar, and honestly, it's a total game changer. You are chosen before the foundation of the world. What if your value isn't something you have to spend your life trying to build? What if it was just given to you? This idea says you were valued, you were wanted, before you ever did a single thing. Your worth isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. Man, that changes things, doesn't it?
And the second pillar just makes that foundation even stronger. You have received the spirit of adoption, a child of God. I mean, really think about what adoption means. It's this permanent, unconditional sense of belonging. This idea says your place in the family is just that secure. You're not on some kind of performance-based contract, always worried you're going to get kicked out. No, you belong, period.
Okay, but what about when we mess up? Because we all do, right? What about our failures? Well, here's the third pillar. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us. This isn't just about wiping the slate clean. It's about getting to rewrite your entire story. It means your past mistakes don't get to define your future. You can always, always start over. And look, this isn't just some abstract spiritual concept. It has profound psychological implications. When your identity is built on being chosen, adopted, and forgiven, that's a fortress. It's the only truly safe foundation for your self-worth. It's a place where you can finally stop hiding and just be you.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds amazing, but how do you actually live like that? How do we take this idea and make it real in our day-to-day messy lives? Great question. Let's get super practical.
Right off the bat, let's be clear. This isn't some magic pill. It's a process. It's a journey. But the good news is there are clear steps we can take. So let's break down this 3-step map that can help us walk away from that false self and into our true self.
Okay,
Step 1. Identify and replace. This is huge. It's about catching that negative self-talk in the act. You know that voice? The one that says, "You're failure," or "You're not enough." You don't have to just sit there and take it. You can actively fight back with the truth. You can say, "No, I am forgiven. I am a child of God." You're literally rewriting the script in your own head.
Step 2 is all about practice, specifically practicing detachment. This means you consciously, intentionally decide to separate your deep, core worth from all the temporary stuff. A bad review at work, whether someone texts you back, you name it. You draw a line in the sand and you say, that stuff happens to me, but it is not who I am. It's a radical act of freedom. And finally, step 3, embrace the process. Please hear this. This is not a one-and-done deal. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's a daily practice. It's a moment-by-moment choice to believe what God says about you over what the world, or even your own brain, is screaming at you. Some days you'll be great at it, other days not so much. And that's okay. Just keep practicing.
Because this is the payoff. This is what it's all for. When you stop having to perform to prove your worth, you're finally free to just live. You're free to love people without needing anything back. You're free to take risks and create and serve because failure doesn't threaten your core identity anymore. It's a life filled with purpose and, honestly, a deep sense of peace.
So let's land the plane with this question, and I really want you to think about it. What part of that false self are you ready to let go of today? What mask have you been wearing that's just gotten too heavy? Is it the perfectionist, the people pleaser, the performer? The journey to becoming who you truly are starts with one small decision. What's yours going to be?